Son of man, wail for the multitude of Egypt, and cast them down, even her and the daughters of the famous nations, unto the nether parts of the earth, with them who go down into the pit. The last prophecy concerning Egypt, verses 17 through 32, presents in vision Pharaoh, his armies, and the armies of his allies, helpless captives covered with shame, and shut up in the dungeon of Sheol. Hell, that is, in company with other kings and their armies. When on earth all these were mighty and caused terror. But in the world of the dead they suffer a common misery, ignominy, and helplessness. These scriptures present a momentary glance into the dreadful mystery of the spirit world. Many of the other monarchs listed in this chapter had honorable burial in their armor, their swords beneath their heads, which was the custom in those days. But not so with Pharaoh. He was, according to history, strangled. Thus close these 7 prophecies concerning Egypt. She sought in self-will and the pride of nature to take the place which God had given to Babylon, the leader of the world at the time. The mighty empire of Assyria had to bend to God's gift of supremacy to Nebuchadnezzar and Pharaoh, though he owned no God but himself. That is Ezekiel 29:3 and verse 9, was no better than any other monarch in power and might. He was uncircumcised, like the others, that is, not owned of God or upheld by him. Pride and self-will characterized Egypt. Regrettably, she had been the confidence of God's people, Ezekiel 29:16, but should no longer. For how could such a principle ever furnish the victories given only by faith? Egypt shall have her place in the future, Isaiah chapter 19, but never as a ruler. Her judgment secures Israel's blessing, for whom the will of man and Pharaoh cannot frustrate the purpose of God in grace. We learn from all of this that the nations of the earth, even the mightiest, are nothing in God's hands. One day every nation in the world will worship the Lord Jesus Christ. It will be in the coming kingdom age. The prophet Isaiah said so, Isaiah chapters 11 through 12.